Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo 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 Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 4:31-16. That's a bit of a long verse. Etapadam ta jagat atmana param.
Etat padam tat jagat atmanah param.
Etat padam ta jagat atmana param.
Etat padam tat jagat atmanah param.
Etat padam ta jagat atmana param.
Etat padam tat jagat atmanah param.
Shakridva batam sa shavitur yatha prabaha.
Sakrat vivatam savitur yatha prabha.
Shakridva batam shavitur yatha prabaha.
Sakrat vivatam savitur yatha prabha.
Shakridva batam shavitur yatha prabaha.
Sakrat vivatam savitur yatha prabha.
Yatha sharvo jagat rati shopta shaktayo.
Yatha savo jagrati supta shaktayo.
Yatha sarvo jagrati supta shaktayo.
Yatha savo jagrati supta shaktayo.
Yatha savo jagrati supta shaktayo.
Yatha savo jagrati supta shaktayo.
Dravya kriya jana bad jana bhita bhamatyaya.
Dravya kriya jnana vida brahmataya yaha.
Drava kriya jana bhita bhadramatyaya.
Dravya kriya jnana bhita brahmayatyaya.
Dravya kriya jana bhita bhadramatyaya.
Dravya kriya jnana bhita brahmatmayaya.
Thank you, Prabhu's Mataji's.
एतत् पदं तज्जगदात्मनः परम्
Etat padam
Jagatmana param.
सकृद्विभातं सवितुर्यथा प्रभा
Sakrit
Vivatam
vivatam
savitur
savitur yatha prabha.
yatha
यथा सवो जाग्रति सुप्तशक्त्यो
Yatha savo jagrati
Jagrati
supta
supta
shaktayo.
shaktayo.
द्रव्यक्रियाज्ञानभिदा भ्रमात्ययः
Dravya
Dravya kriya
jnana
jnana brahmayatyaya.
etat padam taj jagatatmanah param.
एतत् पदं
Padam
तदात्मनः परम्
param
Sakrat vivatam savitur yatha prabha.
Sakrit
सकृद्घातं
vivatam
सवितुः
savitur
यथा
yatha
प्रभा
prabha.
Yatha savo jagrati supta shaktyo.
यथा
Yatha
सवो
savi
जाग्रति सुप्तशक्त्यो
द्रव्या क्रिया ज्ञानविदा भ्रमातयः
द्रव्या
द्रव्या क्रिया
ज्ञानविदा भ्रमात्ययः
एतात् पदं तज्जगत् आत्मपरम्
Etat padam jagat
जगदात्मना
param
परम्
चक्रीद्विभातं सवितुर्यथा प्रभा
सकृद्विभातं
Sakrivatam
सवितुर्यथा
सवितुर्यथा
प्रभा
प्रभा
यथा स्वजागृति सुप्तासक्तयो
यथा
यथा स्वजागृति सुप्तशक्त्या
Suptasaktayo
द्रव्या क्रिया ज्ञानभेदब्रह्मात्मयाय
द्रव्या
द्रव्या क्रिया
ज्ञानविदा
ज्ञानविदा
भ्रमात्ययः
भ्रमात्ययः
Etat.
एतत्
This cosmic manifestation,
This cosmic manifestation
padam,
padam,
place of habitation,
place of habitation,
habitation
tat,
that
that,
that
jagat atmanaha,
Jagat
Jagat
Atmanaha,
Atmanaha
the supreme personality of Godhead,
of
of
the
the
Supreme
Supreme
Personality
Personality
of
of Godhead,
param,
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 transcendental,
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 chakrit,
Sakrit,
Sacred,
sometimes,
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 vibatam,
Vibhatam,
Vivatam,
manifested,
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 shavitaha,
Vita
Savituha,
of the sun,
of the
of
sun,
Sun,
yatha,
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 as,
as,
prabha,
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 sunshine,
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 yatha,
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 as,
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 asha, vaha,
Ashvaha,
Ashva,
the senses,
the
the
senses,
senses,
jagrati,
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 become manifest,
become
become
manifest.
manifest,
manifest,
shupta,
Shukta,
inactive,
inactive,
active,
Shak Shaktayaha,
Shaktaya,
Shaktayaha,
energies,
energy,
energies,
Dravya,
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 physical elements,
Physical
physical elements,
Kriya,
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 activities,
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 Jnana,
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 knowledge,
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 Bidha, Badra, Bidha, Barama,
Bida
Vida,
Brahma.
Dharma,
differences from misunderstanding,
differences from
differences from
misunderstanding,
misunderstanding,
Yaha,
Atyaya,
Yaha,
passing away.
passing away.
passing away,
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Just as the sunshine
Just
Just
as the
as the
sunshine
sunshine
is not different from the sun,
is
is
non-different from the
non-different from the
sun,
sun,
the cosmic manifestation
the
the
cosmic
cosmic
manifestation
manifestation
is also non-different
Is
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 also
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 non-different
non-different
from the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
from the
from the
Supreme
Supreme
Personality
personality
of
Personality
of
of
Godhead.
Godhead.
The Supreme Personality
the
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 Supreme
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 Personality
Personality
is therefore all pervasive
is
is
therefore
therefore
all
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 pervasive
pervasive
within this material creation.
within
within
this
this
material
material
creation.
creation.
When the senses are active,
When the
When the
senses are
senses are
active,
active,
they appear to be part and parcel
they
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 appear
appear to
to
be
be
part
part
and
and
parcel
parcel
of the body.
of the
of
body.
the body.
But when the body is asleep,
But when the
But
body
when the
is
body
asleep,
is asleep,
the activities are unmanifested.
their
their
activities
activities are
are
unmanifest.
unmanifest.
Similarly,
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 the whole cosmic creation
the
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 whole
whole
cosmic
cosmic
creation
creation
appears different
appears
appears
different
different
and yet non-different
and
and
yet
and yet
yet
non-different
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 From the Supreme Person.
from
From
the
the
Supreme Person.
Supreme Person.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
This confirms the philosophy of Achinta Veda Abheda Tattva, simultaneously one and different, propounded by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is simultaneously different and non-different from his cosmic manifestation. In the previous verse, it has been explained that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, like the root of a tree, is the original cause of everything. It was also explained how the Supreme Personality of Godhead is all-pervasive. He is present within everything in this material manifestation. Since the energy of the Supreme Lord is non-different from him, this material cosmic manifestation is also non-different from him, although it appears different. The sunshine is non-different from the sun itself, but it is simultaneously also different. One may be in the sunshine, but he is not in the sun itself. Those who live in the material world are living on the bodily rays of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but they cannot see him personally in the material condition. In this verse, the word Padam indicates that the place where the Supreme Personality of Godhead resides. As confirmed in the Ishapanishad, Ishyavashyamidam Sharvam, the proprietor of a house may live in one room of the house, but the entire house belongs to him. A king may live in one room in Buckingham Palace, but the entire palace is considered his property. It is not necessary for the king to live in every room of that palace, or for it to be, every room of the palace, for that palace to be his. He may be physically absent from the rooms, but still the entire palace is understood to be his royal domicile. The sunshine is light. The sun globe itself is light. The sun god is also light. However, the sunshine is not identical with the sun god Vivishwan. This is the meaning of simultaneously one and different. Achintya Ved Aveda Tattva. All the planets rest on the sunshine, and because of the heat of the sun, they all revolve in their orbits. On each and every planet, the trees and the plants grow and change colors due to the sunshine. Being rays of the sun, the difference is non-different from the sun. Similarly, all the planets resting on the sunshine are non-different from the sun, are being produced by the sun. And the cause, the sun, is inherent in the effect. Similarly, Krishna is the cause of all causes, and the effects are permeated by the original cause. The entire cosmic manifestation should be understood as the expanded energy of the Supreme Lord. When one sleeps, the senses are inactive, but this does not mean that the senses are absent. When one is awakened, the senses become active again. Similarly, this cosmic creation is sometimes manifest and sometimes unmanifest. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Budva Budva Pralayaha. When the cosmic manifestation is dissolved, it is in a kind of sleeping condition, an inactive state. Whether the cosmic manifestation is active or inactive, the energy of the Supreme Lord is always existing. Thus, the words appearance and disappearance apply only to the cosmic manifestation. Just as the sunshine is non-different from the sun, the cosmic manifestation is also non-different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality is therefore all-pervasive within the material creation. When the senses are active, they appear to be part and parcel of the body. And when the body is asleep, their activities are unmanifested. Similarly, the whole creation appears different and yet non-different from the Supreme Person. Jai Srila Prabhupada. So thank you again for joining Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class today. when we read a verse, it seems to be very good. But when one does research to speak about a verse, there's so many different ways one can actually approach that verse. And it's actually phenomenal. It's amazing how these verses are Amala Purana. They're spotless and they're ever fresh. So when I was reading this verse, initially I was wondering how to speak about it, but there's so many different perspectives to actually consider and to expand on this verse. Before I get into the verse, one of the things that amazed me is that the Lord says the sunshine rests, that the sun actually is life-giving, and that the plants in all planets. Now, in our understanding from a modern technology point of view, is that there's no life in any of the other planets. There's no plants, there's no waters, there's no waterfalls. According to our consideration from the advanced material intelligence, there is no living force in any of the other planets, in Mars, in Pluto, or whatever the case may be. But this verse contradicts that. So is one of the, or this verse argues to the contrary, should I say. So we'll start off with a past tense that depicts the Lord's Chintat Veda Tattva quality. Right? We'll start off with, see, once what happened in the Battle of Kurukshetra, Arjuna fought very valiantly. But when he was fighting with grandfather Bhishma, he was either not fighting to his full capacity, or it seemed as though grandfather Bhishma was going to annihilate or was going to destroy Arjuna. So what happened is Krishna saw this happening, and Krishna could not tolerate, right? Krishna could not tolerate Arjuna being defeated by grandfather Bhishma, right? So what did Krishna do? Right? Krishna became, because Bhishma Dev was so ferociously fighting, right? He was not conquerable. And at the same token, it seems as though that Arjuna wasn't be conquered, right? So what does Krishna says? Yada yada yadaramasya glaniki bhavati bharata, right? The translation says, whenever and wherever there's a decline in religious principles or descent of Bharata and a predominant rise of religion, at that time I descend myself. Now, in this perspective, when he's fighting with the grandfather Bhishma, it seems as though, why is Krishna, and why does Krishna say that? Why does he say, I take birth time and time again? It's paritranaya shadunam. So that means he comes to protect the devotees and annihilate the miscreants, right? So that is the reason that Krishna comes. Krishna does not come here, to come and destroy the demons. He mainly comes to protect the devotees and to give benedictions to the devotees, right? But who is grandfather Bhishma? Who is grandfather Bhishma? Grandfather Bhishma is one of the greatest devotees that was on the planet at that time, for one. And secondly, grandfather Bhishma was a Mahajan. He was a great individual. But here it seems that Krishna is contradicting his word. Krishna says, I come, why? To protect my devotees and give pleasure to my devotees. But on the same token, here's a grandfather Bhishma, one of the grandest devotees of the Lord on the planet. Krishna declared this to Yudhishthira Maharaj at a later stage. When grandfather Bhishma was about to leave, he says, let's go and take counsel from the greatest devotee on the planet. And that was grandfather Bhishma. But here on the battlefield, Krishna he jumps off of the chariot. He picks up a wheel, a wheel, and he goes to annihilate grandfather Bhishma. It seems to be contradictory that grandfather Bhishma is a great devotee, a Mahajan. And Krishna says, I come here to protect my devotees. And the same token, he jumps off the chariot to kill his own devotee. So it seems to be an apparent contradiction. Chinta Veda Veda Tattva. Right? So how do we analyze this? How do we understand this? How can we realize it? It seems as though Krishna is breaking his own word. Secondly, Krishna says, I will not take up, in the battle, I will not take up a weapon. I will not take up a weapon, I will not fight. That was a vow he gave. But he broke his own vow. He broke his own word. So why? To protect his devotee Arjuna. Who against his own devotee, grandfather Bhishma. So it seems to be quite a contradiction. It's quite a, quite a calamity. What to do in this case when two devotees are fighting? What do you do? Whose side does Krishna take? When two devotees are having disagreements, whose side does Krishna take? Chitta Veda Veda Tattva. How is it that it's possible when two people pray to the Lord, they go to the Lord and say, my dear Lord, I have a palace. Please protect my palace. And then the miscreant, the dacoit, will go pray to the Lord, my dear Lord, I am really struggling. I need to provide for my family. My profession is to steal. Please give me the opportunity to go steal. So who does Krishna listen to? Krishna got two devotees, right? One wants to steal, one wants to be protected. Who does Krishna? Can you imagine what it must be like to be the Supreme Lord? Every day, every minute, every second, billions of people are praying, I want this, I want this, I want this. And Krishna listens to every single prayer, every single prayer. So now what to do when there's contradictory prayers? So either you can fulfill one or the other. You can't do both. You can't protect the king, protect his palace, and still protect the dacoit from invading the kingdom. So anyway, so you can imagine the kind of task that Krishna has to undertake. It said that everyone wants to be God except God. Everybody wants to be God except God. So it's a thankless task. So therefore, Krishna, when the opportunity is there, the original personality of Godhead, right? With all his Ashwarya, all the wealth, every single wealth that is in this creation, whether material or spiritual, belongs to Krishna. He is served by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis. The wealth that the Lord has is inconceivable. But the same Lord, who is the proprietor of everything and everybody, who is the Lord and Master of all wealth, right? He is Lakshminath. And the same Supreme Personality of Godhead, he chooses in his original position to do what? Can you imagine if Bill Gates goes and runs around barefoot and takes care of cows every day? It's quite an amazing sight. What would the media do? They'll go into a frenzy. If Bill Gates, who is an insignificant, poor beggar in front of the Lord, if he goes and says, listen, I'm not going to use shoes, I'm going to run around all day and play with the cows. I want to take care of cows, I'm going to become a shepherd or a cowherd boy. That'll just, it'll be amazing. The entire media will go into a frenzy. But here, the original personality of God, the proprietor reading, the Ashwarya of all Ashwaryas, right? The fulfiller of all desires. His only desire is to play with the cows, walk around barefoot, and roll in the dust of Vrindavan. It seems quite contradictory. Nobody in the right mind will do that. But here, the Supreme Personality of Godhead takes the opportunity, right, to abandon all wealth. In fact, in Golok Vrindavan, every dust, every single stone, is the most rarest of jewels. Is the most rarest of jewels. Now, where do we keep our jewels? We keep our jewels in a safe, right? In a treasury, right? Even over here, like our gold bars are kept in a treasury. The wealth is kept in a treasury. But in Golok Vrindavan, the real wealth, you walk on the street, you pick up a handful of Raj, dust, and that is the greatest wealth from a stone point of view. Those are touchstones. The Chinta, Mani, Prakara, Sadma, Sukalpa, Vriksha, right? Every single dust is a touchstone. They are rare jewels. They are gems in Golok Vrindavan. And what the Lord does, he sweeps it every day. It's dirt, sweep it out of the house. When he comes home, the Mother Yashoda bathes him because all this most wealthiest thing is considered dirt for him, right? So in Golok Vrindavan, where the greatest wealth that we would consider in all creation to be dust and insignificant, what is the real wealth in Golok Vrindavan? What is the real wealth in Golok Vrindavan? When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, I opened the treasure house of Golok Vrindavan, he didn't even open the treasure house of the heavenly planets. He opened the treasure house of Golok Vrindavan, and he let us all to plunder the treasure house. So what are we plundering when he says open the treasure house? Are we going there and literally bringing all the sand and the dust so that we can have the rarest of diamonds, the rarest of jewels, the rarest of gems. What is it, the real treasure house of Golok Vrindavan? So that is also that Veda Tattva is contradictory to our understanding, right? So the thing is that from that point of view, if you're looking at it, so it's very, very unusual, is right? So in this manner, he is unmistakably shows through his actions and words that Bhishma Dev is one of the greatest Mahajans, right? Krishna had vowed not to take up weapons, and yes, he takes up weapons. It's contradictory. But when Bhishma attacks Arjuna fiercely, Krishna leaves everything and jumps off the chariot, even leaves his service as a chariot driver. Even that is contradictory. The original personality of Godhead is taking such a menial task, as being a chariot driver. You know, like in India, everyone has got drivers. You know, it's not, don't know it here, but I know a lot of the devotees, they've got drivers, they've got cooks, and they've got cleaners that come in. So that's a very menial task. A driver, Are Baba, take me to this road, take a turn here. Arjuna was giving instructions to Krishna all the time. Take me there, let me go there, let me see who's there, let me go see my grandfathers, let me see who is on the battlefield. And Krishna is humbly taking instructions from his devotee, you know, and without even being affected, his ego is saying, oh, I'm God, who is this guy? What is he telling me to do? But that will show you the inconceivable nature of the Lord, right? That unmistakably shows the inconceivable nature of the Lord, right? So then also I always wondered one thing. When Krishna jumped off the chariot on a little deviation, when Krishna jumped off the chariot and he went and he grabbed a wheel that was lying around. And I tried to understand, why is it that Krishna picked up a wheel? Wouldn't you think that if you have all the weapons in your arsenal, wouldn't you invoke the Sudarshan Chakra? So why didn't Krishna invoke the Sudarshan Chakra? Why he picked up an insignificant wheel? Why an insignificant wheel? That's actually, I think, from my understanding, is very significant for us, where utility is the principle. Krishna is teaching us utility is the principle. In every concept, when we are put in a situation, we look around us and see what tools we have, what skills we have, and we utilize that in Krishna's service. Krishna could immediately invoke. Sudarshan Chakra is waiting. Every second is waiting. When is the Lord going to use me in his service? When is the Lord going to use me in service? Within a second, Sudarshan Chakra could have been in his finger. But why did he pick up a wheel? You know, it's truly amazed me why he picked up a wheel. Why didn't he invoke Sudarshan Chakra? Within a second, Sudarshan Chakra would have been there, right? So why is it that the Lord acts in this inconceivable way, right? From a material perspective, it may appear that the Lord, who is Satya Sankalpa, right, whose resolve is always true. Satya Sankalpa means he never lies. He always speaks the truth. When the Lord promises you something, he will fulfill it 100% and more, right? So now, Satya Sankalpa is always truthful. He appears to break his promise. The Lord who is Atmaram, self-satisfied, appears emotionally agitated when Arjuna was being affected. He's Atmaram, but here he's emotionally agitated, contradictory. The Lord who is Sama Darshana, equal to all. The Lord is equal to all, appears to be partial to some devotee. Why is he partial to Arjuna? Okay, I'll understand when he's partial to Arjuna and Duryodhana is on the other side, right? We can understand when in that situation. But why is in this case he's partial to even one devotee to another devotee? How is it? You know, some might think, oh, Krishna is a little bit eccentric in that way, spiritually eccentric, you know. How is that possible, right? The Lord who is composed appears to lose composure, right? He loses composure. His eyes is red, fiery red, right? When he went there, picked up, he lost his composure with anger. And then I think at the end of, you know, when Grandfather Bhishma was leaving, he was explaining about the glories of the Supreme Personality. He is glorifying this pastime to no end. And saying, you know, you are inconceivable. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but you came to me with bloodshot eyes. You know, that beauty of you, may I remember that pastime of yours. May I remember that vision of yours as I leave my body. Right? The Lord who is Ajita, becomes conquered by love. Right? This is contradictory. The Lord who is unconquerable, nobody can conquer him, becomes conquered by love. However, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam teaches that these are not contradictions in the Lord. Right? They are manifestations of his supreme independence in the loving reciprocation. They're not contradictions. They're not. It's an expansion of the Lord's great qualities, right? What appears to be contradiction in Krishna's behavior, such as breaking his own vow, appearing emotionally moved, or showing partiality towards his devotee, is not imperfections. It is the revelation of the supreme autonomy in love. He is Satya Sankalpa, always truthful, yet he is greater than his own rules. He is greater than his own rules when they stand in the way of Bhakta Vatsalya. He is Atmaram, yet he expands his enjoyment in reciprocation with his devotees. He is Atmaram, yet he expands his enjoyment as well as the devotee's enjoyment in reciprocation with his devotee. Thus, what appears to be inconsistencies to material logic is in fact the highest consistency of divine love. The highest consistency of divine love. Bhishma dropped his weapon and offered prayers at that time. Seeing this glorious pastime, the glorious rasa of the Lord, it overwhelmed Bhishma, and he said, this is the glory of my life. I would love to live my life in your hands, my dear Lord. So grandfather, that will show you the greatness of grandfather Bhishma. And Krishna says, I came to protect my devotees and annihilate the miscreants. But who is Bhishma? How is it possible? What is this possible? That he comes here to protect his devotees and he breaks his own word to annihilate his own devotees. Why? To protect another devotee. But by protecting another devotee, he's also giving Bhishma the unlimited amount of happiness. So the Lord comes, he acts in a very inconceivable way to bring pleasure to his devotees. He brings pleasure to his devotees. This loving exchange is Achinta Veda Veda Tattva. This loving exchange is Achinta Veda Veda Tattva. Right? This shows Krishna becomes controlled by the love of his devotees. Krishna says, I came to protect my devotees and annihilate the miscreants. Right? Yet broke his own promise, took up a chariot wheel as an ashtra to annihilate Bhishmadev. This is contradiction. This is apparent contradiction. Another story, lovely story. Yudhishthira Maharaj, right? What happened was, when grandfather Bhishma was defeated, then the next person came up was Dronacharya. And Dronacharya himself was a very powerful weapon himself, and he was a great adversary, right? All the Pandavas and the Kauravas learned from Dronacharya. All of them learned from Dronacharya. He was a grand personality, right? And the Lord is then, and what happened is they're trying to strategize how to defeat Dronacharya. So they're talking in many ways and said, you know what, as long as he's fighting with full valor, full vigor, you cannot defeat him. He cannot be defeated, right? Dronacharya cannot be defeated. So they said, let's take his enthusiasm away from fighting. Let's do that. So they had to figure out how to do that. Then Krishna came up with the idea. See, he's very attached to his son Ashwatthama. He's extremely attached to his son Ashwatthama. But the thing is that if we tell him that Ashwatthama has been killed in battle, then he loses his enthusiasm to fight. And taking that small opportunity, the little window of opportunity, we can defeat Dronacharya. But the problem is now that Ashwatthama has not been killed in battle. This is just a strategy. So what to do? So he said, now we have to tell him in such a way that he'll be convinced that it's absolutely true, that his son Ashwatthama has been defeated in battle. So Krishna comes up with a strategy. See, if we say it, then you know, there'll be some doubts in the mind of Dronacharya. But if Yudhishthira Maharaj, who is Dharmaraj means he was the highest upholder of Dharma, the highest upholder of religion. Yudhishthira Maharaj never told even a white lie in his life. He never cheated in his life. He didn't do anything that is contrary to the basis of religion. The benchmark. He was the benchmark of religion. So what happened is they said, if Yudhishthira Maharaj lies and says that Ashwatthama has been killed, only then and only then would grandfather Bhishma, would Dronacharya, excuse me, believe that it's true. But then they're told, you know what, Yudhishthira Maharaj, you got to say it. Yudhishthira Maharaj said, no, I can't say it. I've never lied in my life, and I'm not about to start right now. But Krishna says, I'm asking you, please go ahead and say it. Now, you see, because of Yudhishthira Maharaj's purity, his truthfulness, His Holiness Parthasarathi Das Goswami once told me that Yudhishthira Maharaj's chariot never touched the ground. It just floated in air. Because of his purity, because of his truthfulness, his chariot just floated in the air. It never touched the ground. The wheels of his chariot never touched the ground. It floated in the air. Because of the Shakti of his purity, it always floated on the air. Can you imagine what a lovely ride he must be having on his horse? There won't be like, like normally the horses, you go up and down. He's just floated. It's just floating on the air. And so what happened is, Krishna told him, please, you say, you tell him. He says, no, I'm not prepared to lie. Then they said, all right. Then Krishna came up with another plan. See, you go on the battlefield, right? And you say that what happened was the day before, or prior to this, there was an elephant was also named Ashwatthama that was killed in the battle. So you go, okay, you don't have to lie. Go on the battlefield and you say that the elephant, Ashwatthama, has been killed. But the way you say it in Sanskrit is a different way around from English. So the way you say it in Sanskrit is you say it as Ashwatthama was killed, the elephant. So you say Ashwatthama was killed or defeated the elephant. So what happened is Yudhishthira Maharaj said, okay, in that way, I'm not lying. I can go ahead and say it. So when he went on the battlefield and during the battle, he screamed out loud, Ashwatthama is killed. And when he was about to say the elephant, Arjuna and Krishna blew their conch loud, and he drowned out the elephant. So all Dronacharya heard was Ashwatthama was killed. All he heard was Ashwatthama was killed. And because Yudhishthira Maharaj said it, what happened is Dronacharya's heart sank, believing it to be 100% true. And what he did was, you can go, Rabbi. Yeah, what he did was, he lost his enthusiasm to fight. And at that time, Arjuna took the opportunity and just shot arrows like you can't believe. Shot immense amount of arrows, and he defeated and killed Dronacharya. Now, at that time when this happened, what happened was, and listen very carefully because I want to ask for a feedback, why do you think that at this time what happened is Yudhishthira Maharaj's chariot just hit the ground, plop. The moment he said that Ashwatthama was killed, the elephant, his chariot hit the floor, boom. Why do you think his chariot hit the floor? Can anybody contribute? Why do you think when Yudhishthira Maharaj said that Ashwatthama, the elephant, was killed, his chariot no longer floated on air? From that time onwards, it hit the ground. Can anybody guess why is it that his chariot hit the ground?
Prabhuji, maybe because he did say the truth, but he did not reveal the complete truth, or he was not able to reveal the complete truth. He concealed some truth.
Okay, good. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
You know it, Prabhu. I know you know the answer. Go for it.
Mataji said is true according to most commentators, but according to our acharyas, they describe that because whatever the Lord describes is the truth. So when Yudhishthira went against it, then that becomes the lie, and therefore it touches down. That's
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing how Achinta Bheda Tattva Krishna says Sarva Dharma Parichatam, that abandon all varieties of religion and religion surrender unto me, and I will protect you. Right? So whatever Krishna says is the ultimate truth. So non-devotees would say that Arjuna, that Yudhishthira Maharaj lied, and therefore the chariot hit the ground. But the Vaishnava tradition, we say, we understand that anything that Krishna says, whatever Krishna instructs us, is the ultimate truth. Because Krishna is Satya, is all truthful. Satya, Satyam, Param Satyam. Krishna is the original truthfulness. So whatever Krishna says is the truth. But because he did not follow the Supreme Personality of Godhead with full truth, his chariot hit the ground. So that's the reason his chariot hit the ground. Right? So that's as well as Chinta Veda Veda Tattva. You can see how it is so interwoven within our philosophy. And it just makes everything so perfect. Right? So that's very, very nice. There's another story, I'll come to it, but let's go a little bit into the philosophy. So what's this Chinta Abheda Tattva means? It's simultaneously one and the same, right? Simultaneously one and different, right? So one and the simultaneously one and the same, simultaneously one and different. In Sanskrit, Achintya Abheda Veda Tattva means, Achintya means inconceivable. So just like the Lord is inconceivable, right? The Lord, everything about the Lord is inconceivable. Our limited understanding, our limited intelligence, our limited purview of everything cannot understand the unlimited. We tend to draw a little bit of our own consideration of the unlimited using our limited perceptions, our limited knowledge, our limited senses. It's impossible. There has to be something that is beyond our here and now, what we can understand about the Lord, right? So Achintya means is inconceivable. Beda means different. Abheda means indifferent, non-different, right? So that's what it means, different and non-different. This is the doctrine taught by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as mentioned in this verse and repeatedly confirmed in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. The Lord and his energies are one because everything emanates from him and rests in him, the Lord says, right? And different because the energy is not the energetic. And the creation is not the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So you must understand it is simultaneously one and different. An example given in this verse is the sun and the sunshine, right? The fire and heat, the ocean and its waves. Is the waves different from the ocean? But is the waves the ocean? No. Is fire and heat different from fire? Sorry, is fire, the heat and light different from fire? But is fire, heat and light fire? It's non-different, but it's one and the same, right? The sun and the sunshine, there's three aspects of that, which at time permitting I'll come into. So effectively to emphasize the anthological problem. This is the anthological problem that we have. Anthological refers to the fundamental structure of being, what truly exists and how it exists. When we discuss Achintya Abheda Veda Tattva, we are not speaking poetically, but anthologically. We are not speaking poetically, but we're speaking anthologically, describing the actual nature of reality as revealed in Sastra, the reality. So there is something that is, as we dive more into Bhagavatam, we dive deep into reality. The reality we see right now is not the real reality. The Bhagavatam, when we delve into Bhagavatam, we dive deep into reality, right? So the anthological position of Bhagavan, the Supreme Being, the anthological position of Jiva, the atomic conscious being, insignificant, 1/10,000, the tip of the head, we are insignificant beyond measure. Even beyond measure, we're so insignificant, right? The anthological position of Prakriti, the material nature, and the anthological relationship between the Bhagavan, the Jiva, and Prakriti. So this is what anthological means. Understand it in its real sense, in its true sense. Scriptures makes two kinds of statements, right? So there is another contradiction, is Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Bhagavad Gita 7:19. Everything is Vasudeva, right? Ishya Vasham Idam Sharvam. Everything is pervaded by the Lord. In Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 1:2:11, it is stated that the absolute truth is one. Absolute truth is one. The Lord is the controller and we are controlled. He is infinite and we are atomic in nature. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 10:87, right? So we can understand this, that every single thing we are getting, there are 64 dimensions. I think if I read previously, that we only see about 3 or 4 dimensions. But from a spiritual perspective, I think there's about There's multiple layers of dimensions, right? So that is why Krishna, because of this pastime, Krishna tells Arjuna, hey Arjuna, you declare boldly, right? O son of Kunti, declare boldly that my devotee never perishes. Krishna didn't even take the risk of declaring it himself, because Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, right? He can break his own rules, he can break his own law. But if Arjuna says it, he's bound by it. So therefore, for us, right, the Supreme Lord using his own devotee as an instrument of divine unwavering proclamation, as an instrument of unwavering proclamation, he tells Arjuna, you declare it, right? When Krishna instructs Arjuna to boldly declare that his devotee never perishes, he is not expressing dependence, nor is it a limitation of the Lord, but a revelation of his supreme affection on Arjuna, right? The supreme affection on Arjuna. It is revealed that the supreme privilege of the devotee whose words are fully aligned with the Lord, right? Listen very carefully. I'm going to come to why I'm saying this in a second. Is the Lord, although completely independent, chooses to authenticate his devotees' declaration as part of his loving reciprocation. It's not that, okay, whatever devotee says that now the Lord becomes his servant, but part of his loving reciprocation, the Lord will even take a servitorship position. Thus, the protection of the devotee is absolutely guaranteed. It is absolutely guaranteed that you and I, if we take shelter of the Lord, we will never perish, right? Not by compulsion, not by compulsion. The Lord is not saying this by compulsion, but by infallible will of the Supreme Lord himself. He is not compelled to do it. Only by his infallible will does he do that. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 10:14, 3 and 4 principle. Brahma says, your words are never false. Your words are never false. But yeah, the Lord breaks his own words. He says, Brahma's praise said, Satyam Vidati, right? He is the established truth, Brahma says. Satyam Param, this is the supreme truth. But yet, even the Lord himself doesn't take the chance in case he is not fully truthful in that way. So therefore, he doesn't take the chance. He says, Arjuna, you declared. Well, that is also the contradiction. It shows that the Lord, that contradiction is actually enlivens us in the glories of the Lord. In Vrindavan, the same Satyam is going around constantly lying, right? The demigods are saying, you are Satyam Vedata. He establishes truth. He is Satyam Param. He is the supreme truth. But that same Satyam, the same truthful, all truthful, is going around Vrindavan and saying, going around Vrindavan and lying consistently. Stole butter? Me? No, Mata, not me. I never stole butter, right? But in the same, on the same constellation, confidently saying that I did not steal butter, but butter smeared all over his face, right? So what a contradiction. The absolute truth goes around stealing and lying whole day in Vrindavan. What a contradiction. If the Lord gave Bhagavad Gita in Vrindavan, right, who will listen to him? If the Lord says, abandon all varieties of religious and irreligious principles and surrender unto me, what will the gopis will say? You? Are Baba, go from here. Nobody will listen to Krishna in Vrindavan. Abandon all varieties of religion and surrender to me. Why? Because I'm the supreme personality of God and I will protect you. Nobody in Vrindavan. Are Baba, what are you talking? They'll tell Krishna. If Krishna thought, if Krishna thought the different modes of eating, right? The modes of eating food in the modes in the good food in the mode of passion, food in the mode of goodness, food in the mode of ignorance. Who will listen to Krishna and Vrindavan? You don't even know what to eat. You're eating mud, and you're telling us what to eat, what not to eat. How can we listen to you, right? Ironically, even today in some spiritual organizations, they advise to always speak the absolute truth, right? In some spiritual organization, they say that we follow the absolute truth, right? We have to speak about the absolute truth completely, but they never have room for declaring the truth. They want us to speak the absolute truth, about the absolute truth, but never speak the truth. So that is a contradiction as well, right? So achintya means non-reductible unity of contradiction, a non-reductible unity of contradiction. A tree has to grow in two directions. When a tree grows, we from a material perspective, we only look at it when the tree grows above the tree. But in order for the tree to go big, its roots has to go big at the bottom. So we don't see how the tree grows in two directions. We only see the tree growing in one direction. But if the tree goes bigger up that way, its root system has to go bigger within the ground to be able to sustain the tree. So we must also see the life in that perspective, that the Lord has got two directions to grow. Some we may not see. If one is, so our, but our material logic says, if one is supreme, it cannot be controlled. If one is controlled, it cannot be supreme. How can the limited understand the unlimited? Bhagavan says, both are true simultaneously, but different dimensions of reality. Both are true simultaneously, but different dimensions of reality. That Achintya Bheda Veda Tata applies to experience. Achintya Shakti means the inconceivable potency of the Lord that cannot be fully understood or measured by material logic or experience. Shakti, Shaktaman, Shambandha, right? The relationship between the energy and the energetic, right? So basically, the Lord takes many different, the absolute truth is simultaneously one and different. All existence is pervaded by the Supreme Lord's energy, and therefore nothing is independent of Him. Yet the Supreme Personality eternally retains His individuality, transcendence, and sovereignty, right? This is inconceivable unity in distinction and is not resolved by logic, but harmonized in the loving relationship. That harmony is called Achintya Bheda Veda Tattva, right? So then the proprietor of a house, the one example is given here is the proprietor of the house may reside in one room. That the entire house belongs to him. His physical presence is in every room. Is not required for his physical presence in every room is not required for ownership. The relationship of the proprietor is not dependent on consistent physical visibility, right? So in this way, I want to extend it a little bit further to the Lord and his devotees. Let's look at it from our own purview, from ISKCON's purview. So what holds true for the Supreme Lord holds true for the pure devotee, right? Similarly, in ISKCON belongs to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. I always take great pleasure in glorifying Srila Prabhupada, right? So similarly, ISKCON belongs to Srila Prabhupada. Whatever is physically manifest before our eyes or not, right? Whether Srila Prabhupada is physically manifest before our eyes or not, whether he is present in one temple room or another temple room, the society he founded remains his. His properties, its temples, its institutions, its publications, its missions, all exist as expansions of his desire and the desire of the Supreme Initiative. For all time to come, not only for now, for all time to come, Srila Prabhupada will be the ultimate Acharya, right? Even if one speaks in legal or intellectual terms, the founder Acharya, the founder author, the deeper principle of the anthological and spiritual, the founder Acharya established the spiritual current, and the institution is energy flowing from his service from his spiritual master and from Krishna. Therefore, every temple room exists because of his sacrifice. Every altar stands because of his obedience to his Guru Maharaj. Every book is his mercy. Every chair, every table, every spoon is used in Krishna's service within ISKCON is engaged under his original direction. He is the proprietor and always be the proprietor of ISKCON, right? Manifest or unmanifest, the founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada is the proprietorship continues, not only in the mundane, not only in the mundane possessive sense, but in the spiritual custodian sense as well. Just as the king may not occupy every chamber of the palace, yet the palace remains his royal domain. Similarly, ISKCON remains Srila Prabhupada's society for all time to come. Our role is not ownership, but stewardship. our role, mine's, yours, everyone, every single entity in ISKCON, we are all stewardship of Srila Prabhupada. No one owns nothing. Nothing. Right? We do not inherit it. We do not inherit it unless we inherited the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. That's all we inherit. Right? We serve it. And by serving it properly, we remain connected to him. And he will bestow real inheritance. Right? He will bestow real inheritance if we serve him in connection with him. At any time and for all time to come, this principle will remain clear. However great a personality may come, however great a personality may come in the future, however elevated his position may be, the moment someone begins to think, I went out, I did the Sankirtan, I built this temple, my disciples collected this money, these are my followers, this is mine to control, to direct, and to enjoy as I see fit. At that very moment, deviation begins. Nothing in Krishna's mission belongs to an individual or personal proprietorship. Service rendered in ISKCON is never independently achieved. It is performed by the mercy of Guru, under the orders of the Acharya, through the empowerment of Parampara, right, in the pleasure of Krishna. If one appropriates collective service and identifies as proprietor rather than the servant, the mentality is condemned in Shastra as false ego, ankara, the subtle theft of the Lord's property. Srila Prabhupada repeatedly warned against that spirit of I and mine. He calls such mentality rascalism, not as an insult, but as a diagnostic language. Because spiritually speaking, to claim proprietorship over what belongs to the Lord and his Acharya is a serious offense. It is not merely administrative deviation. It is a philosophical deviation. It is an ontological confusion. In this spiritual terms, it amounts to betrayal of trust, a violation of Guru Seva. We are caretakers, not owners. We are instruments, not originators. We are servants, not controllers. Now, I'm coming to where the Chitta Veda Tattva comes in here. The moment stewardship turns into lordship, the current of mercy withdraws. The current of mercy withdraws. ISKCON does not belong to any individual successor, manager, or preacher. It belongs to the founder Acharya and ultimately to Sri Krishna. Our greatness lies not in claiming ownership, but in remaining transparent servants within the divine structure. Transparent servants within Srila Prabhupada's divine structure. That subordination is not claiming ownership. That subordination is never forced. It is never structured. It is rational and affectionate. So say, for example, Krishna became subordinate. The good examples about this is that, see, what if someday Krishna takes birth within ISKCON? If Krishna takes birth within ISKCON, would Krishna be the predominant personality, or will Srila Prabhupada still have the predominance? Now, the examples of this would be, so this is also that Veda Tattva, right? The simultaneously one and the same. With the supreme proprietor, supreme owner, like we're looking at the pastime, Krishna becomes subordinate to Mother Yasoda, right? He acts as Arjuna chariot driver, as servant to Arjuna, right? He also accepts to be bound by ropes. He who is inconceivable becomes conceived, bound by ropes, controlled, bound by ropes, right? Right? He follows the orders of his devotees. When the good example is when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he took sannyas what did Srila Prabhupada want by Maka? Okay, sorry, there was a message that came through. So what did Srila Prabhupada so anyway, so we were talking about what did Krishna take great pleasure in? His being bound becomes subservient to the devotee. So effectively, if, for instance, even the Supreme Personality of Godhead takes birth between the umbrella of ISKCON. Even the Supreme Person of Godhead, out of his Achintya Shakti, out of his inconceivable energy, he will also take Srila Prabhupada's word as the authority, Srila Prabhupada's structure as the authority, and Srila Prabhupada's example as the authority. Can you understand that Achinta Veda Veda Tattva, the inconceivable nature of the Supreme Lord? Right? All the planets remain situated within the influence of the sun, but the sun's heat and energy, they sustain. Oh, okay, you know what? I'll think we'll stop there because time is running short. If there's any questions, corrections, and contributions, you know, we welcome it wholeheartedly.
Prabhuji, very beautiful talk. You are also talking Achintya Veda Veda. Your words are also like that, really, because everything is pervaded by Krishna. Every atom is pervaded by Krishna. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Hare Krishna. Very wonderful talk. Thank you very, very much.
Oh, thank you always for your encouragement, Prabhu. You're so sweet, so merciful. That is one of the qualities of the devotee.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Sorry, Mataji, you go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for the class.
Thank you, Mataji.
I was just adding something that Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he summarized the Achintya Veda Veda philosophy in the following way. One who knows God knows that the impersonal conception and personal conception are simultaneously present in everything, and that there is no contradiction. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya established his sublime doctrine, Achintya Veda and Aveda Tattva, simultaneously oneness and difference. So here in the verse, the relationship between the sun and sunshine analogies the relationship between God and the Jiva. The sun and sunshine are not different quantitatively, but different qualitatively, but different quantitatively. There is a great difference between proximity to a beam of sunshine and proximity to the sun. Similarly, the Jiva is qualitatively similar to God, but does not share God's qualities to an infinite extent as would God, so himself. So this is how we understand. We are part and parcel of Krishna. We have same qualities like Krishna, though we in a very minute, quantity, but it's Krishna's. So this difference is only in the quantitative, the qualities, and that is the difference which in the purport Srila Prabhupada has mentioned about sun and the sunshine. Krishna is the sun, and we are the minute like sunshine. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes, very nice contribution that is, Mataji. Sunshine is equals to energy. Sun globe is a localized aspect, and Vivishwan, right? The sun god is the sun god. So that they're not one and the same, yet they're the same. The Brahman is the effulgence, the Paramatma is localized, and the Bhagavan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Janaka.
Pranam. Thank you for this wonderful class. Fantastic, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
I was taken. As you rightly said, see, when Sureshwara Prabhu came in 2015 and he gave the founder Acharya class, the point that he made, again, always stood in my mind. He said, when Prabhupada said that this would go on for 10,000 years, his institution will go on. There will always be great acharyas who come. There will be a pure devotee of the Lord who will do things probably even greater than Srila Prabhupada. But they will all be accepting Srila Prabhupada as the founder Acharya. They will bow down their head to Srila Prabhupada still, because that is the nature of the position of the founder Acharya. The one who inaugurates it, he is always the highest. So that person will not claim anything greater, although his contributions may be greater than what Srila Prabhupada did. So that is a point that we need to keep in mind about the position of Srila Prabhupada, that Srila Prabhupada is our allegiance to him is the center point of our service to ISKCON. If we cannot maintain that, then there is no use. And one other aspect that I thought while you were discussing was, we always say that when the Supreme Lord protects, that means he protects our spiritual assets. It's not the material assets, it's our spiritual assets.
Yes.
In the same way, if we maintain our allegiance to Prabhupada, our spiritual assets, our spiritual ability to serve the organization remains protected. As
Yes.
soon as we leave that, try to take control of the material aspect of what that organization represents, we lose that connection and we are no longer protected in that way. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. It's always heartwarming hearing and talking about Srila Prabhupada. I don't know about you, but for me, it's always very wonderful. So the thing is that we must understand, whoever comes in the future, even if they accomplish so-called greater things than Srila Prabhupada, they will never be able to, because Srila Prabhupada has given them the foundation and the tools. Like, for instance, we talk about the tree. When it grows in two directions. You must understand that if we are building like a 20-story building, the higher up we go, means the foundation had to be deeper down in the ground. So Srila Prabhupada will always give us the tools. So whoever comes, they will not be able to do it on their own accord, with their own capacity, their own capabilities. They'll have to use Srila Prabhupada's foundation to grow up from there. So Srila Prabhupada will still always be the rooted cause of all causes within ISKCON. That's my understanding, at least.
Sure, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Anyone else?
Prabhu, one other thing
Sure, please.
I thought about the points that you were making and the things is Sri Krishna's wants the glorification of his devotees more than himself. That's another inconceivable angle that is always there, that we glorify the Lord, but the Lord wants to glorify his devotee. And so going back to that same example of Bhishmadev, that when Yudhishthira becomes so inconsolable after the war, even though he's made the king, even when Krishna himself tries to convince him that there is nothing wrong that has happened, Yudhishthira is not convinced. And then Krishna asks Yudhishthira to go to Bhishmadev to get that instructions so that Bhishmadev may be glorified. So in this way, Krishna forever, he wants his devotees to be glorified. The same with Arjuna. We all, generally, everybody considers Arjuna the cause of victory in the Kurukshetra war. But without Krishna by his side, nothing would have happened. And he makes so many adjustments for Arjuna to become victorious in all situations. Yet, he wants that glory to be given to Arjuna rather than to himself. So that is another apparent, or that is his glory. But still, apparently, it appears as a contradiction to others. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yes, that is true. Krishna is always wanting his devotee to be glorified. In fact, there's a constant battle going on, or a challenge going on. Who can surpass who? Whether devotees can surpass the service and the glorification of the Lord more, or the Lord can surpass them by glorifying the devotees and serving the devotees. So it's a constant thing over there. And yes, the protection of Arjuna was so great that the Lord was not there. If one classic indication of that truth is, does anybody knows what happened to the chariot of Arjuna's? Where is it? What happened to the chariot? What was the history after that of the chariot?
Yeah, we know that Krishna, after the Kurukshetra war, Krishna asked Arjuna to get off the chariot
and run.
And he said, "You go first." To Krishna, he said, "No, you go first." And then Arjuna left it. And then Krishna afterwards, when Krishna got out of the chariot just burnt into fire.
It exploded.
So he said it has been happened all the way before. But since I was sitting in the chariot, nothing happened. But now you can see, that it's gone. So that way he actually showed Arjuna that everything happened because of him.
Isn't that such a classic good example of what Prabhu just said? Fantastic,
It's-
Mataji, yes.
Krishna can do anything.
Krishna, that shows also how he protects his devotees. And that shows also that Krishna won the battle, right?
That's right.
Like if you look at it, although there was 17 Ashwayinis fighting in the battle of Kurukshetra,
Yeah.
right? When Krishna was attacked by I think prior to that, he and Balaram, and they ran up the mountain and stuff like that. There was a greater amount of soldiers than there was, I think there was about 24 Ashwininis or whatever it's called, that came to fight Arjuna and Krishna alone. And Krishna and Arjuna two-handedly, not with any weapons, just with a broken bow, they annihilated the whole, 1.5 times the quantity of people that were in the battle of Kurukshetra. So Krishna could and did kill everybody, right? He could, but yet he was performing as a menial task and not even taking that. But if you look at just Arjuna and Krishna and Balaram himself killed 1.5 times the quantity of people alone when they were attacked before. But what's his name?
Jarasandha.
Jarasandha, yes. And Jarasandha came 21 times to fight, and every time Krishna and Balaram defeated them. They came with the people that were bigger than both the Kauravas and Pandavas put together in the battle, and 2 of them wiped them out. So that will tell you the prowess of the Lord and what Lord can do. But yet, in the battle of Kurukshetra, he stood there and he protected Arjuna. And because in the battle of Kurukshetra was an atomic war, right? They were using atomic bombs. It's a nuclear war. So the Brahmastras were nuclear weapons. And the Lord, he protected Arjuna right throughout, in every perspective, in every aspect. But yes, that what you just said, Mary Prabhu, is such a great philosophy, and it warrants a big talk. But thank you so much, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, there is a very interesting story.
Tell me,
when
Prabhu,
there was a Kurukshetra war,
yeah,
the Bhima's, I think it was great grandson, Barbari,
yeah.
and he was the one who was, when Krishna, actually long story, but he was watching all the war from the top of the tree. His head was there. And he said that, we were thinking that Arjuna is killing or somebody else is killing. Actually, he saw everything is actually done by Krishna. So that's a very interesting story. I know many of us will know that.
Yes.
So he said that I could see that it was Krishna's Sudarshan Chakra who was killing everybody. So we don't have much time, but it's a very interesting. It's written in Mahabharata. Barbari, that he saw everything like that. Yeah.
Sarva Karna Karanam, cause of all causes.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So sweet. As always,
Hare Krishna.
such great realizations.
Yeah, you always bring some discussions, and which is the best part of the
I love that
Bhagavatam
so
class.
much.
Otherwise, you should be present all the time for Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class, and you should start having some sort of discussion. It is very important.
I love that the discussion afterwards tells me a lot about the class.
Yeah.
Meaning
I
that
know it is time. Some people have to go to work. For me, I have to stay home. It doesn't matter. But other devotees have. So we have to be very, careful about that. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Babaji. Thank you for your encouragement. He is always
Hare
so
Krishna.
motherly and affectionate. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Hare Baba.
His Grace Janaka Raj Das Prabhuji ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai.
Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Go Premanande.
Hari Bol.
Have a wonderful spiritual day, everyone. Please
Hare
send me
Krishna.
blessings.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.